Labour's Sadiq Khan has vowed to do all in his power to make London better, as he was sworn in as the new mayor. Referring to his council estate roots, Mr Khan, the city's first Muslim mayor, said he wanted all Londoners to have the same opportunities he has had. It comes as Defence Secretary Michael Fallon defended Conservative Zac Goldsmith's campaign, describing it as the rough and tumble of politics. The much-criticised campaign questioned Mr Khan's alleged links to extremists. Mr Khan beat Mr Goldsmith, by 1,310,143 votes to 994,614, giving him a larger personal mandate than either of his predecessors, Boris Johnson and Ken Livingstone. He has announced he will step down as MP for Tooting, meaning a by-election will be held to elect a new representative in Parliament. The former Labour minister's victory in London ends 8 years of Conservative control of City Hall. It has also given a boost to Labour after its poor performance in Scotland's election, which saw it slump to third place behind the Conservatives. Following on from its London success, Labour has also won Bristol's mayoral contest, with candidate Marvin Rees beating the incumbent, independent George Ferguson, by a comfortable margin. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn welcomed Mr Rees' victory, saying in a tweet, "Another Labour mayor who will stand up for their city." But Mr Corbyn was absent from Mr Khan's swearing-in ceremony earlier on Saturday. Mr Khan, who nominated but did not vote for Mr Corbyn in the Labour leadership contest, said he was not sure why, adding, "We'll have to find out what he was doing." Meanwhile, Nicola Sturgeon introduced the SNP's new batch of MSPs as the party celebrated its third successive victory in the Holyrood election, though the result left the SNP 2 seats short of a majority in the Parliament. In other election news, the Northern Ireland election count has come to an end, and the Democratic Unionists remain the biggest party in Assembly, with Arlene Foster continuing as First Minister. Burning ambition. As he swore in as London mayor in a ceremony in Southwark Cathedral, Mr Khan, the son of Pakistani immigrants, said, "I'm only here today because of the opportunities and helping hand that our city gave to me and my family. My burning ambition for our city, that will guide my mayoralty, is to ensure that all Londoners get the opportunities that my city gave to me. I promise you I will always do everything in my power to make our city better. I will be a mayor for all Londoners," he added. He also pledged to lead the most transparent, engaged and accessible administration London has ever seen. Rough and tumble. Speaking later, Mr Khan said he was disappointed by the negative and divisive nature of Mr Goldsmith's mayoral campaign, which focused on Mr Khan's alleged links to Islamic extremists. But his victory, he said, was a rejection of the politics of fear. Several senior Conservatives, including former cabinet ministers Ken Clarke and Baroness Worsley, have, like Labour, voiced criticism of the way the contest was fought, while Mr Goldsmith's sister Jemima said it did not reflect who I know him to be. But Defence Secretary Michael Fallon, who called Mr Khan a Labour lackey who speaks alongside extremists during the race, defended the Conservatives' approach, saying it was legitimate to put a candidate under scrutiny. Labour's Tottenham MP David Lammy said Mr Khan had risen above what he described as smears. "If we ever get a Prime Minister of colour it will be because of what Sadiq Khan has achieved," he told Today. New power base. Meanwhile, John McTernan, Tony Blair's former strategist, told the BBC Mr Khan's election showed Labour can win a victory and was a good result for Mr Corbyn in the short term. But he said the campaign run by Mr Khan, who distanced himself from the Labour leader during the contest, was totally independent of Mr Corbyn and the politics he articulated. "This creates a new power base in the Labour Party," he said. Both candidates were asked questions about their backgrounds, their personalities, their judgments, the people they associate with. "That's the nature of our democracy and the rough and tumble of politics," he said on BBC Radio 4's Today. Repeatedly challenged over whether he believed Mr Khan was a security risk to London, Mr Fallon said, "London is safe with a Conservative government working with the new Mayor of London."